the course name is Symbolic Logic. In this course, we basically learn about what is logical reasoning or inferential reasoning. That is, what is the nature of reasoning. And we learn it in terms of various arguments. And we look into the nature of the arguments and how we can construct arguments and how we can find out whether our argumentative reasoning is correct or incorrect. We divide the course into traditional logic and modern symbolic logic. In the traditional logic, we basically learn about Aristotelian syllogism or Aristotelian syllogistic reasoning, where Aristotle is talking about categorical syllogism, that an argument is constructed out of categorical propositions. He tells us about the rules and fallacies of the syllogism. We also check Aristotelian logic by Venn diagram. So we learn about whether by Venn diagram we can prove that arguments are bad or they are good. Then we come to modern symbolic logic, where the emphasis is basically upon the formal deductive logic. There we basically learn about how we can actually symbolize natural language into argumentative form. We construct various truth functional compound statements, and out of those compound statements we construct arguments. And there are various ways by which we can basically test the validity of the arguments. So we learn about truth table. So by using the truth table, we learn whether the statements are of different logical characters. We learn how to ascertain the validity or invalidity of the arguments of those compound, constructed out of the compound statements. And then we move on to quantification theory. And in the quantification theory, our first task is to quantify propositions, see the relationship between various propositions, and then we have various proofs by which we can prove whether the arguments are valid or they are invalid. And the proofs are, first of all, we learn about various rules. For example, we have rules of inference, rules of replacement, then we have the conditional proof, strengthened conditional proof, we have indirect proof, we have shorter truth table method, by which we basically find out, or we basically prepare various proofs to prove whether the arguments are valid or they are invalid. We also see that there are arguments which have the relational predicates, and we also check the validity and invalidity of those arguments. So in this course, you basically learn about what is logic or what is logical reasoning, what is the nature of logical reasoning, how we basically construct different kinds of arguments, how do we check whether these arguments are they are valid or they are invalid. So the course is interesting because it is basically a symbolic logic where we do not go much into the contents of the arguments, but we only restrict upon the nature, that is the formal nature of the arguments, and see whether the argumentative reasoning is correct or it is incorrect. So the course basically teaches you different ways and different techniques by which we can check the validity or invalidity of the arguments. And it is interesting because I actually ask the students to see the relationship between logic and various other disciplines. For example, what is the relationship between logic and computer science, logic and mathematics, logic and rhetoric? So this is all about the course. So see you all in my course. Thank you.